The gun pressed against Min-jun's temple as rain hammered Seoul's skyline. His finger tightened on the trigger aimed at the sleeping woman before him. One bullet. One problem solved. But something stopped him, maybe the way moonlight caught her face, or the book clutched in her hand even in sleep. He lowered the gun. Biggest mistake of his life. Take her, he whispered to his men. Carefully. 30 minutes earlier, Min-jun had stood in his penthouse watching the storm, phone buzzing insistently. Ji-woo, his lover of 6 months, appeared in silk, clearly hurt by his coldness. Are you even listening to me? She asked. He didn't turn. You should go. That's it. After 6 months. After 6 months, you still don't understand. I don't do feelings. Leave. She grabbed her things, slammed the door. He didn't flinch. The phone rang again. This better be important, Min-jun answered. Boss, we cornered Victor Chan at Incheon port. But he won't talk. Won't give up the shipping codes. Says he'd rather die. Min-jun's eyes darkened. Everyone breaks. Find his weakness. His daughter. She's at the Pyeongchang estate. Alone. A cruel smile crossed his face. Send me the address. Now here he stood, watching Anikan Chen sleep peacefully, unaware her world was about to shatter. He reached out, touched her shoulder. Wake up. Her eyes snapped open, confusion, then pure terror as she saw masked men surrounding her bed. Who are you? She scrambled back against the headboard. Your father's worst nightmare. Get up. Get out of my room. She grabbed a lamp, hurled it at him. He caught it effortlessly. You've got spirit. That'll make this interesting. 2 men lunged forward. She screamed, fighting like a wildcat, landing a solid kick to one guard's jaw. My father will kill you for this. Min-jun leaned close, his breath warm against her ear. That's exactly what I'm counting on. The chloroform cloth silenced her struggles. Her body went limp in his arms, lighter than he expected, more fragile. He carried her himself, ignoring his men's surprised looks. Anikan woke in luxury, plush bed, designer furniture, but the barred windows told the real story. She tried the door. Locked. Panic rising, she pounded on it. Hello. Let me out. The door opened. Min-jun entered, immaculate in a tailored suit, holding a breakfast tray. Screaming won't help. We're 3 floors underground. Soundproof. She backed away, searching for weapons. What do you want from me? Your father has something of mine. Until he returns it, you're my guest. She laughed bitterly. Guest. You kidnapped me. Semantics. He set the tray down. You'll be treated well. Fed, comfortable. Imprisoned. Their eyes locked. Something crackled between them. Dangerous, electric. He looked away first, unsettled. Your father will call. When he does, convince him to cooperate. She lifted her chin, defiant despite her fear. You don't know my father. He doesn't negotiate. Not for anyone. Not even me. Min-jun's confidence wavered. Then get comfortable. This could take a while. And I suggest you sleep with one eye open. The second I get a chance, I'm gone. She smiled, not friendly but challenging. Something stirred in his chest, unfamiliar and unwelcome. We'll see about that. He left quickly, disturbed by his own reaction. The next morning, alarms blared. Min-jun stormed into his security room to find Anikan's door open, guard unconscious. How? He demanded. Hairpin, boss. She picked the lock. They found her 3 corridors away. She spun to face him, breathing hard, eyes blazing. Took you long enough. I was starting to think your security was amateur. He stepped closer, dangerous. You think this is a game? She didn't back down. Isn't it? You keep me here. I keep trying to leave. We both know how it ends. And how's that? Either I escape, or you let me go. Because deep down, you're not as cold as you pretend. His mask slipped. She saw it. He saw that she saw it. Back to your room. Now. His voice came out rougher than intended. She walked past him, so close he caught her scent, jasmine and defiance. Admit it. You're enjoying this. He was. God help him, he was. If you're loving this story already, hit that subscribe button. I promise it gets even more intense. Drop a like and tell us in the comments if you're Team Minjun or Team Anikan. Day 3. Anikan smiled sweetly at the guard delivering lunch. You look tired. Long shift. The guard melted. You have no idea. Her hand shot out, swiping his keycard while he rambled about his schedule. That night, she made it to the parking garage before Minjun's voice stopped her cold. Going somewhere? She spun. He stood by his car, arms crossed, almost impressed. Took you long enough. You stole a keycard, disabled 2 cameras, and avoided 3 patrol routes. I'm curious, where did Victor Chen's daughter learn that? My father's world isn't all champagne and galas. I learned to survive. He moved closer. She held her ground. Why do you keep trying? You know I'll catch you. Because I refuse to be a victim. Because sitting in that room accepting my fate isn't who I am. Her voice dropped. Because I think part of you wants me to succeed. His hand lifted, almost touching her face before he caught himself. You don't know anything about what I want. Don't I? She stepped into his space, bold despite her circumstances. Your hands shake when you're near me. You avoid eye contact. You leave the room like it's on fire. That's not. You're afraid. Not of me escaping. Of what you're starting to feel. His jaw clenched. Back to your room. Make me. The challenge hung between them, loaded with unspoken tension. He grabbed her wrist, not rough, but firm, and led her back. Neither spoke, but his thumb traced circles on her pulse point, betraying him. At her door, she turned. One day, you'll stop pretending. Pretending what? That you're the monster you think you are. The door closed between them. Minjun stood there long after, her words echoing. The next week, Minjun made his boldest move yet. He opened Anikan's door holding a garment bag. You wanted out of that room. Tonight's your chance. She eyed him suspiciously. What's the catch? Seoul's business elite are gathering at SOEX. You're coming with me. As what? Your prisoner on display? As my associate. You stay by my side, smile, play the part. Try anything, people get hurt. She studied his face, seeing the warning was real. And if I refuse? You don't get to refuse. But you can choose to make this difficult or easy. 2 hours later, she emerged in a midnight blue dress that made Minjun forget how to breathe. She caught his reaction, smiled slightly. Easy or difficult? She asked. You're definitely making this something, he muttered. His hand found the small of her back as they entered the convention hall. Every eye turned. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Minjun felt her tense. Relax, he murmured against her ear. Let them look. Let them wonder. They know who I am, don't they? Chen's daughter with her father's enemy. They know you're mine. That's all that matters. A businessman approached, predatory smile fixed in place. Minjun. And who is this vision? My business partner. Anikan. The man took her hand, kissing it too long. Minjun's grip on her waist tightened possessively. Charmed, Anikan said smoothly. I've heard so much about Seoul's entrepreneurial spirit. If you ever tire of Minjun's company, I have opportunities that might interest you. She tilted her head, playing along. Oh, tell me more. Minjun's voice dropped to ice. She's not available. For any opportunities. Anikan shot him a challenging look. I can speak for myself. She walked away, engaging other guests. Minjun watched, seething and captivated in equal measure. She was magnificent, charming them, gathering information, playing the game better than he'd expected. A rival boss approached her, slick and dangerous. "You're Chen's daughter." Word travels fast. Her mask slipped briefly. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Minjun's keeping you locked up. Seems like you could use alternative protection. Name your price." Before she could respond, Minjun's hand wrapped around her waist, pulling her against him. Possessive. Protective. "She's mine," he said with deadly calm. "Touch her, and I'll bury you before sunrise." The rival backed off. Anikan's heart raced. Fear, anger, something else she didn't want to name. "What was that?" she demanded once they were alone. "That was me keeping you safe. I didn't ask for your protection." His other hand came up to cup her face, thumb brushing her cheekbone. "You didn't have to." The world narrowed to just them. His eyes dropped to her lips. She stopped breathing. "Minjun," she whispered. He jerked back like she'd burned him. "We're leaving." The car ride back was silent, charged. His hand rested on the seat between them. She stared at it, remembering how it had felt on her skin. "Why did you really bring me tonight?" she asked quietly. "I told you. The truth. Please." He was quiet so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, "Because keeping you locked away was killing something in me. Because I wanted to see you shine. Because I'm selfish enough to want everyone to know you're with me, even if it's a lie." "What if it's not a lie?" His head snapped toward her. "What? What if I'm starting to feel something too? Something I shouldn't, something that makes no sense, but it's there anyway." "Anikan. I know it's Stockholm Syndrome or survival instinct or whatever psychological term explains it. But when that man suggested I leave with him, all I could think was no. When you touched me tonight, I didn't want you to stop. And I hate myself for it, but I can't make it go away." The car stopped. They were back at the facility. Minjun turned to her, face tortured. "You feel it because you're alone and scared and I'm the only constant. But it's not real." "How do you know?" "Because if it were real, I'd be the worst kind of monster. Taking advantage of your circumstances, your vulnerability." She grabbed his collar, pulling him close. "You're not taking advantage. I'm choosing this. Right now. I'm choosing you. You don't know what you're saying. Then kiss me and prove me wrong. Show me it means nothing." He stared at her, warring with himself. Then his control shattered. He kissed her desperately, hungrily, like a man drowning, and she was air. She kissed back with equal fervor, hands tangling in his hair. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rested against hers. "This is insane," he whispered. "I know. You should hate me. I should. But I don't." He kissed her again, softer this time. "Reverent. I can't let you go. Even if your father surrenders everything, I can't." "Then don't." They stumbled into the facility, lips never parting, hands everywhere. He backed her against the wall, kisses trailing down her neck. "Tell me to stop," he murmured against her skin. "No. Anikan, we can't." She pulled his face back to hers. "We can. We are. Stop overthinking." He lifted her, her legs wrapping around his waist. "My room or yours? Whichever's closer." They barely made it to his room. Clothes scattered across the floor. Every touch was electric, desperate, real. He kept pausing, checking her eyes for hesitation. "I'm sure," she said each time. "I'm here. I'm choosing this." Afterward, lying tangled together, he traced patterns on her bare shoulder. "I've never brought anyone here before. Never let anyone in. Why me?" "Because you're the first person who saw past the monster to the man underneath." She turned in his arms, studying his face. "You're not a monster, Minjun. Monsters don't care who they hurt. You care too much, so you pretend not to care at all. He kissed her forehead. How did you get so wise? Growing up with Victor Chen teaches you to read people. Survival skill. His arms tightened around her. He won't hurt you again. I promise. You can't promise that. Watch me. They fell asleep wrapped together, the first peaceful sleep either had experienced in weeks. But peace never lasts long in their world. Comment below if you're still watching. This story is about to get wild. And tell me, where are you watching from? Minjun's phone shattered the morning quiet. He answered groggily, then shot up, suddenly alert. What do you mean they breached the perimeter? Anikan woke, instantly tense. What's happening? He was already pulling on clothes, tossing hers to her. Your cousins. They're here for you. Daniel and Michael? But how? Gunfire erupted downstairs. Minjun grabbed weapons from a hidden safe, pressed a gun into her hands. You know how to use this. My father made sure I learned everything. Even the things he hoped I'd never need. Stay behind me. Don't leave my sight. They moved through the facility as alarms blared. His men engaged the attackers in brutal firefights. They reached the security room where monitors showed the chaos. There. Anikan pointed. That's Daniel. And Michael by the east entrance. Minjun studied the screens, jaw tight. They brought serious firepower. This isn't a rescue, it's a military operation. What do you mean? He pulled up intercepted communications on the computer, turned the screen toward her. Read. Her face drained of color as she scrolled. Messages between her cousins and her father. Plans. Arrangements. A buyer in Shanghai. Daughter secured for Shanghai delivery, she read aloud, voice shaking. Elder Zhao confirmed 50 million for the bride. Wedding arrangements finalized for next month. She looked up, devastated. They were selling me? Minjun's expression hardened with protective fury. Your father arranged it months ago. You'd marry Elder Zhao, merge the families. They're not here to rescue you. They're here to collect merchandise. He's 70 years old. My father was going to. Her voice broke. I'm sorry. I found out last night. I was going to tell you this morning. She stared at the messages, her entire reality crumbling. My whole life was a transaction. I was never a daughter. Just inventory. He cupped her face, forcing her to meet his eyes. You're not inventory. You're not merchandise. You're mine, and I don't share. Minjun. Explosions rocked the building. They had to move. He grabbed her hand, leading her through back corridors. They burst into the parking garage where Daniel and Michael waited with armed men. Anikan, Daniel called out, false warmth in his voice. Thank God. We're getting you out of here. She stepped forward, Minjun tense beside her. Getting me out? Or delivering me? Daniel's smile faltered. What are you talking about? Elder Zhao. 50 million. Should I continue? Michael drew his weapon. You hacked our communications. I protect what's mine, Minjun said coldly. And she's mine. She's family, Daniel spat. She belongs with us. Anikan laughed bitterly. Family? You were selling me to an old man like cattle. That's not family. It's business. Strategic alliance. You'd understand if you weren't so selfish. Selfish. I'm selfish for not wanting to be bought and sold. Michael aimed his gun at Minjun. She's coming with us. This doesn't concern you anymore. Minjun stepped in front of Anikan, shielding her. Everything about her concerns me. Move aside or I'll shoot. Then shoot. But you'll have to go through me to get to her. Anikan's hand found Minjun's back, steadying him. I'm not going anywhere with you. Minjun showed me the truth. You're not my family. You never were. You're choosing him? A criminal who kidnapped you. He kidnapped me, yes. But you tried to sell me. At least he's honest about what he is. Daniel's face twisted with rage. You stupid girl. Do you know what you're throwing away? Power, connections, security. I'm throwing away a prison disguised as privilege. I'd rather be here. Fine. Michael's finger tightened on the trigger. If we can't deliver you, you're worthless anyway. The shot rang out. Minjun moved impossibly fast, shoving Anikan aside. The bullet grazed his shoulder instead of her heart. She screamed as he staggered. No! Chaos erupted. Minjun's men poured in, engaging the cousins' mercenaries. Through the gunfire, Anikan grabbed a weapon, firing at Michael. Her shot hit his leg. He went down cursing. Daniel grabbed her from behind, arm around her throat. Drop it or I snap her neck. Minjun, bleeding, raised his weapon. Let her go. You think you love her? She's poison. Just like her father. Anikan drove her elbow back hard into Daniel's ribs, broke free, spun and shot him in the chest. He dropped, shocked by his own cousin's bullet. She stood shaking, gun still raised, as reality hit. I just killed my cousin. Minjun pulled her into his arms. You saved us both. That's all that matters. He was my family. He tried to sell you. He tried to kill you. That's not family. More gunfire. Victor Chen himself appeared, flanked by reinforcements. His eyes locked on his daughter, cold and calculating. Anikan, come here. Now. She stepped forward, putting herself between Minjun and her father. No. I'm your father. I gave you everything. You gave me nothing but chains. He set me free. Victor raised his gun, aimed at Minjun. Then watch him die. Everything slowed. Minjun moved toward Victor. Anikan moved to shield Minjun. The gun fired. Pain exploded through Minjun's chest as he took the bullet meant for her. He crumpled. No. Anikan caught him, her hands immediately red with blood. Minjun, stay with me. Please. He smiled weakly, touching her face. Worth it. You're worth everything. Don't you dare die on me. You promised. You said you'd protect me. You can't protect me if you're dead. Bossy even now, he whispered. Rage ignited in her eyes. She looked at her father, saw him raise the gun again. Minjun's men opened fire. Victor fell, expression frozen in shock. He reached toward his daughter with his last breath. She didn't take his hand. You should have loved me when you had the chance. Paramedics rushed in. They worked on Minjun frantically. Anikan refused to let go of his hand. Ma'am, we need space. I'm not leaving him. Then hold his hand and stay out of our way. In the ambulance, Minjun's eyes fluttered open. Did we win? We're alive. That's winning. Your father. Dead. They're all dead. It's over. He squeezed her hand weakly. Good. Now you're free. I was only free when I chose you. Everything before that was just a different prison. I love you, he said, voice fading. Should have said it more. You said it enough. Now stay awake. Stay with me. Trying. So tired though. Minjun, please. I need you. I can't do this without you. His eyes closed. Monitors beeped frantically. The paramedic worked faster. We're losing him. No. Anikan leaned over him. You don't get to leave me. Not after everything. I love you. Do you hear me? I love you. So wake up. Fight. Come back to me. If you're crying right now, you're not alone. Hit that like button and keep watching. We're almost at the end and you need to see how this resolves. Subscribe if you haven't already. The hospital corridor stretched endlessly. Anikan sat outside surgery for 6 hours, hands still stained with his blood. His second-in-command, Tae-hyun, brought her coffee she didn't drink. He's strong. He'll pull through, Tae-hyun said. He took a bullet to the chest. For me. He'd do it again. I've known Min-jun for 15 years. I've never seen him care about anyone until you. I got him shot. My family tried to kill him. Your family tried to kill you both. You saved each other. That's what matters. The surgeon finally emerged. He's stable. The bullet missed his heart by centimeters. He was incredibly lucky. Aniken's legs nearly gave out. Can I see him? He's in recovery. Sedated. But yes. She ran to his room, stopped short at the door. He looked so still, so vulnerable. Machines beeped steadily. Bandages covered his chest. She sat beside him, taking his hand carefully. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You hear me? When you wake up, I'll be right here. Hours passed. She didn't leave. Nurses came and went. Night fell. She fell asleep with her head on his bed, hand clutching his. She woke to fingers stroking her hair. Her eyes flew open. Min-jun smiled weakly down at her. You stayed. Of course I stayed, you idiot. She was crying and laughing simultaneously. You scared me so much. Sorry. Wasn't planning on getting shot. Don't joke. Don't you dare joke about this. He tugged her closer, ignoring his pain. Come here. She carefully climbed onto the bed beside him, mindful of his injuries. He wrapped his good arm around her. Your father. Dead. Daniel and Michael too. It's over. Really over. How do you feel about that? She was quiet, processing. I should feel something. Grief, guilt, anything. But I just feel relief. Does that make me terrible? It makes you human. They hurt you. They tried to destroy you. You're allowed to be glad they can't anymore. What happens now? With us? Min-jun shifted to see her face. What do you want to happen? I want this. You. Us. But I don't want it built on kidnapping and violence and blood. Then we start over. Right now. Clean slate. She smiled through tears. Hi, I'm Aniken. I'm slightly damaged, trust issues, but working on it. He played along. Min-jun. Also damaged, also working on it. Would you like to have dinner sometime? I'm currently lying in a hospital bed with the man I love who just got shot saving my life. I think we're past dinner. Fair point. He kissed her forehead tenderly. Then let me ask properly. Aniken, will you stay with me? Not as my prisoner, not out of necessity, but because you choose to. Every single day, I choose you. He kissed her softly, carefully, like she was precious. We'll do this right. I'll court you properly. Take you on real dates. Meet you like normal people meet. We're not normal people. Then we'll be extraordinary together. She laughed, the sound light and free. You almost died and you're planning dates? I almost died and realized I've wasted too much time pretending I don't feel things. No more wasting time. They stayed like that, wrapped together, until nurses insisted she let him rest. She moved to the chair, refusing to leave the room. Over the next 3 days, she barely left his side. They talked for hours, learning each other beyond the intensity that brought them together. Tell me something real, she said on the 3rd day. Something you've never told anyone. Min-jun stared at the ceiling. I was 7 when my father was murdered. Right in front of me. He told me to hide, but I watched through the closet door. They tortured him for codes, for information. He never gave it up. Never screamed. Just looked at that closet the whole time, making sure I stayed silent. Her hand tightened on his. Min-jun. I swore that day I'd never care about anyone again. Caring meant weakness. Weakness meant death. I built an empire on that coldness. Then you came along and shattered everything. I'm sorry about your father. Don't be. He taught me strength. But you're teaching me something harder. That strength isn't just walls and distance. Sometimes it's letting someone in despite the risk. She climbed back onto the bed, careful of his healing wounds. I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me. Promise. I promise. He kissed her deeply, hungrily, until a nurse cleared her throat at the door. Mr. Min-jun, your vitals are spiking. Perhaps less excitement. They broke apart, both laughing. The nurse left, shaking her head. You're going to get me kicked out, Anikan said. Worth it. By day 5, Min-jun was restless, insisting on leaving. The doctor said another week. Anikan argued. I heal fast. And I need to take care of some things. What things? He took her hand. Making sure you're protected. Legally. Officially. Your father's empire is in chaos. People will come for you, thinking you're vulnerable. I have you. You need more than me. You need legal protection. He pulled out papers from the bedside drawer. Marry me. She stared. What? Marry me. Legally. If you're my wife, you're untouchable. My family name, my resources, my protection, all yours. You're proposing from a hospital bed? I'm proposing from wherever I am because I can't wait another second. I almost died without making you mine in every way possible. Marry me, Anikan. She studied the papers. A marriage contract, but different from before. This isn't just strategy, is it? No. This is me asking you to be my wife because I love you. Because I want to wake up next to you every morning. Because I want the world to know you're mine and I'm yours. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. He pulled her into a kiss that made the monitors beep frantically again. They broke apart grinning. We should probably wait until you're healed for the honeymoon, she teased. Absolutely not. I have plans for you the second we get home. You were just shot. Minor detail. They signed the papers that afternoon, a nurse and Taehyun serving as witnesses. It was nothing like a traditional wedding, hospital room, fluorescent lights, him in a medical gown, but it was perfect. I now pronounce you husband and wife, though this is highly irregular, the nurse said, clearly charmed despite herself. Min-jun kissed his bride thoroughly. Mine. Finally, completely mine. Yours. And you're mine. 3 days later, he was discharged against medical advice. They returned to his penthouse, their penthouse now. He'd had her things moved in, her books mixing with his files, her presence transforming the cold space into a home. That first night back, she helped him change bandages, fingers gentle on his healing wounds. Does it hurt? Not when you're touching me. She kissed around the bandages, careful and tender. I almost lost you. But you didn't. I'm here. We're here. He pulled her onto the bed beside him. I know the doctor said no strenuous activity. Min-jun. But I've been dreaming about this. About you. About us in our home, our bed, as husband and wife. You need to heal. I need you more. She kissed him softly, then deeper. We go slow. If you're in pain, we stop. Deal. They made love carefully, tenderly, learning each other's bodies with new reverence. Every touch meant something now. Promise, commitment, future. Afterward, wrapped together, he traced patterns on her bare skin. I never thought I'd have this. Peace. Home. You. You deserve it. All of it. We deserve it. Together. She nestled closer. Tell me about the future. What do you see? I see us leaving the darkness behind. Maybe not completely. My world doesn't work that way. But stepping back. Building something legitimate. Something clean. What would you do if you could do anything? I'd build things. Construction. Development. I'm good at creating structures, seeing potential in empty spaces. What about you? I studied literature before everything fell apart. I'd love to write. Or teach. Something that feeds souls instead of destroying them. Then we'll do that. Build and write. Create instead of destroy. She lifted her head, studying his face. You really mean it. Every word. I'm done with the darkness. It almost took you from me. I won't risk that again. They fell asleep planning futures, dreams replacing nightmares. Before we get to the ending, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love hearing from you all around the world. 3 months later, Anikan stood on their balcony watching Seoul's sunrise. Minjun had been working on leaving his organization, transferring power, building legitimate businesses. It was slow, dangerous work, but he was doing it. For them. For their future. Arms wrapped around her waist from behind. She leaned back into Minjun's warmth. Can't sleep, he murmured against her neck. Too much on my mind. Want to share. She turned in his arms, suddenly nervous. They'd been through everything together. Kidnapping, violence, death, rebirth. But this felt bigger somehow. I have something to tell you. His expression shifted to concern. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's perfect. That's what makes this so terrifying. Anikan, you're scaring me. She took his hand, placed it on her still flat stomach. His eyes widened, understanding dawning. You're pregnant. We're going to have a baby. He froze, processing. She watched emotions flicker across his face. Shock, fear, then pure, radiant joy. A baby. His voice cracked. We're having a baby. Are you happy? I know it's fast. We're still figuring everything out. He kissed her, lifting her off her feet, spinning her carefully. Happy doesn't cover it. Terrified, amazed, grateful, but mostly happy. So incredibly happy. She laughed, crying. I was so nervous to tell you. Why? This is everything. You're everything. He set her down gently, hand returning to her stomach. There's a person in there. Our person. Half you, half me. Probably twice as stubborn as both of us combined. Poor kid doesn't stand a chance. He knelt suddenly, pressing his forehead to her stomach. Hi. I'm your dad. I don't know how to do this, but I promise I'll figure it out. I promise I'll keep you safe. I promise I'll love you as much as I love your mother, which is more than I knew was possible. Anikan ran her fingers through his hair, overwhelmed. You're going to be an amazing father. He stood, cupping her face. I was so lost before you. Cold, empty, barely human. You made me feel again. Taught me love isn't weakness. Now we're creating life together. How did I get this lucky? We both got lucky. We found each other in the darkness and made our own light. They stood together as the sun fully rose, bathing Seoul in gold. Two people who'd started as enemies, become lovers, fought through blood and betrayal to find something real. No more running, Minjun said softly. No more violence. Our child grows up in peace. Can you really walk away from that world? I already have. The moment you told me about the baby, whatever last threads holding me there snapped. I'm done. Completely done. What will we do? We'll build, create, love. Be the family neither of us had growing up. She kissed him as the sun climbed higher. I love you, Minjun. From the moment you kidnapped me to right now, somehow it all led here. Best kidnapping I ever committed. Still not romantic. How about this? I loved you from the first escape attempt. When you threw that lamp at my head, I knew you were special. She laughed. Better. Still weird, but better. He pulled her close, hand protective on her stomach. We're going to be okay. Better than okay. We're going to be happy. Promise. I promise. I spent my whole life keeping promises, usually the dark kind. But this, promising you happiness, that's the easiest promise I've ever made. They turned back to the sunrise, facing their future together. Two broken people who found each other in violence and chose love instead. Their story started in darkness but ended in light. Minjun's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, smiled, and turned it off. What was that? Final business. Taehyun confirming everything's transferred. I'm officially out. How does it feel? Terrifying. Liberating. Right. Anikan leaned her head on his shoulder. We really made it. We really did. Against every odd, through every nightmare, we made it to the other side. Below them, Seoul woke up. Traffic hummed. People started their days. Normal life continuing, unaware of the love story playing out above them. A love born from chaos, tempered by fire, and stronger for every trial. Tell me something, Minjun said. If you could go back to that night, knowing everything that would happen, would you? She didn't hesitate. Every time. Every painful, beautiful, terrifying moment. Because it led to this. To us. To our baby. I'd do it all again. Even the kidnapping. Especially the kidnapping. Best worst thing that ever happened to me. He kissed her temple. I love you. And I'm going to spend every day of the rest of our lives making sure you never regret choosing me. I could never regret you. You're my home, Minjun. The first real home I've ever had. They watched the sun climb higher, holding each other, hands entwined on her stomach where their future grew. Two souls who found each other in the darkness and chose to walk into the light together. Their story wasn't conventional. It wasn't clean. But it was theirs. And that made it perfect. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible tales. Comment below and tell me where you're watching from. I love connecting with viewers from around the world. What story should I tell next? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, remember that even in the darkest moments, love can find a way.